take it a little slower. Wake up, Greg.
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. Did that freeze for anybody else? It seemed like it froze for me, but we're here. Episode 14, start of season 4. I have thoughts. I've not seen any of these, and I have opinions, and I'm angry on some of it. So we will discuss. Mark, how the hell are you? I haven't seen you in ages. How are you, and how was your viewing experience this week?
I am solid. I think we're getting into some real strides, I would say, in both shows. Or both. I mean, all three shows. At least the both that I remember, and now getting into some good one with the one I had not seen. I would like to say I was kind of curious about this when we were doing another show. What we were just doing, like how long we've been doing this, and we kind of even though we somewhat passed it. We're 2 weeks ago. Was our technical 1-year anniversary of doing the show. We recorded the first episode 2 weeks ago last year.
Nice.
Yes, this team has been together. It was 5 at one point, and I'm just going to say this off the bat. Thank God it isn't 5. I just want that on the record. These episodes are already long. We do a lot of talking. But my God, you add Nazario and Mike to this show would never end. It would have ended season 1. I promise you it would have ended season 1. I couldn't hear Mike go, well, motherfucker stabbed him in the throat, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, this was great. Like,
It's the greatest show ever.
a positive talking Oz would have broke this show 100%. That's what united us in fire. Like, we were built in this. Like, we were built in the darkness. Like, this is where we were. Matt, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
I'm doing good. It's very interesting starting a new season of all three of these shows. I definitely was staying up too late watching one of them. I had to go back and rewatch a Mad Men episode because I realized I fell asleep during it. But once I rewatched it, it was like, hey, good stuff. It'll be fun to talk about.
Yes. So, Matt, I'm doing great too. You didn't ask this time, but it's fine. You wasted yours in the live show. But my viewing experience is fine. I was pissed off. I'm very frustrated on some of this. 2 of these shows got basically, me and Matt talked about it. It's season 4 reboots almost. They were soft reboots. 2 of these were soft reboots. What the fuck? And the other was the Sopranos teach parenting lessons. So we'll be here. We'll discuss. I'm not predicting an Omar-like fight tonight.
Oh.
But my frustration will not be met by these two, and I know that, and I'm airing my frustration now in a safe space before this mustache-wielding person is going to tell me that I'm incorrect and wrong on something. I just want that on the record right now in my safe space. We're going to start with The Shield, which is not my point of contention. My point of contention is the show that I found my favorite so far of Mad Men. So I want you can tune in. Do not leave your set. Watch. And I know I want this on the record too. I know it's a dumb nitpick. I know this, but I want to be heard about it because I'm frustrated.
I'm so confused right now. Like I cannot even fathom what it possibly is.
That won't get you to stay tuned. I don't know what
you both should know. If you've known me this long, you know my dumb nitpick on this show, and you're not going to, and it's going to piss me off. But take us through The Shield, Matthew.
All right, so we are going to jump into season 4. I have The Cure written down, but I'm pretty sure it was The Cure. Yes, The Cure. It is 6 months later after our season 3. We're starting off Vic, Danny, and Julian leading the police in an arrest. Unfortunately, a cop killed a dog, and I know how much Cody hates that. But to be fair, they did show the assistant chief of police that the dog was going for a gun. So the
Yeah.
officer had no choice.
He had a
Wild.
piece on him.
Wild. Are you just gonna brush over? Brush over who the person they showed that gun to?
I'm about to say Glenn Close has joined the show as Monica Rawlings. She's going to be our new police captain for the barn.
Let me tell you, Aceveda upgrade by 1,000,000,000 degrees. Glenn Close? Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, wait, what's the budget of this show? I was like, Glenn Close is who's gonna be Dutch's new partner? Kate Winslet? I was like, what are we doing? Does she even know? Did she show up on the wrong set? I was so confused.
Well, this actually was the beginning of her like doing like a TV renaissance, because then she went and did a show Damages that lasted, I think, like 5 seasons. That was pretty
right.
good. Yeah. So
Another classic FX show.
oh yeah, FX. Once we get you, we hold on to you as long as we can. Oh yeah, so yeah, she's joined the show. Aceveda gives her a nice little tour of the barn. We see Ronnie and Vic are all that remains of the strike team in the barn. Monica takes Vic. She takes to Vic real quick. I guess because she, unlike Aceveda, she actually comes. She was a street cop too, so I think she kind of sees. She realizes Vic. She likes him right away. So she gets him to kind of drive her around the city and see everything. Meanwhile, Dutch and Claudette are investigating a case with 4 dead bodies found in a motel. But once Aceveda gets there, he gives it to the new detective Billings. And I don't remember if they never say if he's like a new detective or if he's just a detective that's just been like allegedly been in the background this whole time. We just haven't paid attention to
what
him.
a dumb ad that we actually giving him lines. Like, who are you?
You say that now, but just wait.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
but yeah, because Claudette and Dutch, they're still on the district attorney shit list, because from Claudette's little quest last season, 17 cases have been overturned, and there's still 40 cases on appeal. Dutch and Claudette search the victim's car and notice a booster seat indicating that there's a missing child. Vic knows that the 1-9ers used to run drugs out of that motel, so he and Monica go to question them. They tail one of the 1-9ers and follow him into a community meeting, which is being led by a former 1-9er, Antoine Mitchell, played by Anthony Anderson, where he talks about the virtues of honoring your loved ones over gang loyalty and stopping crime in their streets, taking back the neighborhood to get respect. So he's kind of trying to unite some of the gangs and kind of get the community involved. Antoine interrupts Vic and Monica while they are questioning some gang members, and he tells them that the 1-9ers aren't involved in this case. Vic finds out that Aceveda ruined his chance of transferring to a new job that he was trying to get, and they almost get into a fight right there in the middle of the barn. And pretty much Aceveda tells him, you thought I wasn't going to get the last word, as he's on his way out. We see Lem is now a youth authority officer. He tries to visit with Vic and Ronnie, but he meets Monica instead. We see, once again, Vic visits Antoine at his place, where he has one of the maids from the motel who tells Vic that the 2 Latinos were leaving with a child. Monica tells Claudette that she's made her point and it's time for her to move on and end this whole feud with the district attorney's office. Vic uses the information from the maid and they find the missing child. And that child actor was really good, I thought. He was crying. Somebody probably hit him before they started rolling the cameras.
Jesus.
Okay.
Not confirmed. Not confirmed. Don't want to get somebody in a case.
They go and arrest Fernando Cruz and his associate Tito. Also, we have Danny and Julian are helping a man who had collateral damage in the shooting, even though he doesn't want any help. Julian questions some of the local kids. They give him a hard time. And then later in the episodes, no detectives even show up to help them. So eventually Danny and Julian get called back to the barn. So I don't know what that was. I guess it's just kind of showing that the barn's not really operating on 100% right now. Dutch and Claudette question Fernando and Tito separately, trying to play them against each other, and both end up confessing. Fernando said the whole thing started as a drug deal gone bad, and that the only reason he took the child is because he didn't want the child to be killed. Vic visits a drug dealer named Deadeye to talk about Antoine, and Deadeye agrees to help Vic as far as taking down Antoine for the right price. Vic and Ronnie continue their work on the Lewis Sperling's cameras from last season. They observe a subject beating his son on the camera. So Vic kind of tracks him down into a bar and kind of baits him into a fight so he can kind of beat the shit out of him. We have Corrine. Vic goes and sees her at the hospital. She gives him an ice pack, and then they sign papers. They're going to put their house on the market. Monica calls out Vic for lying to her about beating the guy, and Vic tells her that he blames himself for the strike team not getting the gang activity and the motel under control before everything fell apart and they disbanded last year. She tells Vic of her plan to fund a squadron that will go after the gangs, and she intends to introduce a program that seizes property in Farmington bought with drug money. And they're going to split the cash between the barn, the district attorney's office, and then another third of it will be going back into the neighborhood. And she pretty much just asks him to kind of prove himself trustworthy over the next week to see if he can actually kind of run that squad for her. Aceveda's wife storms into Aceveda's office, and they talk about therapy that they've been attending, which isn't working. She says, "I'm tired of feeling like I was raped too."
Fucking wild. What the fuck? Wow.
Crazy.
And he tells her that maybe they should get a divorce, but she's refusing. It's like, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I feel like I was assaulted too. Jesus.
Oh yeah. So Vic and Ronnie, they go to Deadeye's house, and when they get there, they find that he's been killed. He was shot, and they also notice that Shane is there. He's back working with the Vice unit. He claims that he got a tip from an informant about a shooting there, and he came to investigate. Shane asks Vic how Cassidy's doing, and Vic congratulates Shane on his newborn son, Jackson. Vic asks him after Michael, and Shane's like, no, Stonewall. Shane takes Deadeye's phone with him, but Vic wants him to leave it. Vic asks Shane if he or Antoine had anything to do with the shooting, and Shane said he doesn't know anything about that, but he can call it in. And that's kind of the end of our season premiere here. So some new stuff going on.
Yeah. Upgrade on police captain. I think Glenn Close is going to be awesome. I don't like the strike team is broken up. I don't think they handled that very well at all. I understand why, to build them back up or build whatever. It's just, for me, because I feel like there's just unfinished business on the strike team, and I know, like, to separate to get them back. Aceveda being gone is a blessing at this point. Except his wife is arguably one of the worst TV characters in the history of TV. Like, her and Pete must get drinks on the weekends together. Like, terrible.
Like all the things they say about Skylar, and some people might say about Betty, they should be talking about this lady.
Like, she's Cersei. Like, she's all like. Have you ever had to forcibly suck a penis and literally get a video taken of it on a flip phone, and then the person that never had that happen to say, "I feel like I've been in the same situation." No, no, you didn't.
You just
No,
talked about it so much. I feel like it happened to me.
I'm sorry for sharing my feelings. Crazy. Anyways, I think the gang thing is going to be interesting because Vic's getting pushed by her.
Mhm.
How will that? Once he starts failing, how will that look? That's interesting to me. But I think Glenn Close, because I've seen her play mean before and angry, kind of excited to see that side of her because I'm sure it will come out.
Yeah, I was very curious to get to the um I don't want to like say like celebrity guest star part of it, but I would say kind of the higher echelon of actors. I know the Shield got a couple of them. I was aware of I was kind of curious like when we got to that, and also okay, how is that going to work? And I do like her character so far. I think she is an interesting addition here, and it was interesting at least to see how things are just different and how okay it's just like we're kind of trying to see where everybody is at this point. And I really thought that man, are we just not going to see Shane at all? It was a little bit. I was a little bit surprised we saw him at all. Like maybe we're going to get like a big Shane episode next episode, which is kind of what we did. But don't want to steal your thunder.
Whoa! Spoilers. What the?
But no, like it was an interesting start, and the Glenn Close of it all was not a letdown. Yeah, as of yet, I haven't finished it.
All right, so we'll jump into episode 2, Grave.
Man, they do not spend a lot of time naming these episodes.
They didn't go to the Mad Men school of naming episodes, that's for sure.
No, just wait for episode 3, man. We went shorter.
So we start out Shane and his new partner, Army, Michael Pena, making an appearance. They arrest a pimp, and Shane tells Army to keep some of the drugs that they found so they can use it to buy intel down the line. And so you kind of see Shane kind of picking up a lot of Vic's tricks, and he's trying to be Vic now, and we'll see how that works out for him. Shane and Army haul the pimp into the barn. Vic isn't too happy to see him. Ronnie kind of talks with him for a little bit. Vic also has a visit from a friend named Cal, who's asking Vic to help out one of his restaurant employees, Cyril. I guess he's getting involved with some drugs, and he's going to see if Vic can kind of help out at all. Vic informs Monica about the case, but she tells him that you need to take the Aceveda since she isn't really officially captain yet. Vic asks Lem to help him with the information about Cyril. He looks it up, and Cyril was charged for public indecency after being caught having sex in public. Danny and Julian respond to a robbery where one of the officers on the scene shot and killed one of the escaping robbers. Vic learns that the female robber was the same girl that Cyril was arrested with prior, and it appears that Cyril may have also been involved in the robbery. Aceveda talks with Lewis and tells him that he's been caught violating the deal and that he's going to jail. Lewis, not wanting to go to jail, tells Monica that he has some good info for her if she can get his deal back. Aceveda warns her to stop trying to make plays until he's officially gone. Lewis ends up telling Monica and Vic that he can give them a lot of information about a Russian mob boss. Monica tells Aceveda that they can share credit for him. But of course, Aceveda, being the guy he is, he ends up taking all the credit for himself. He also suggests to the chief of police that Vic be the one to stay in charge of the video sting to keep him kind of stuck behind the computer there watching the videos. Vic meets with Nancy Gilroy at the morgue to identify Ben Gilroy's dead body, who he drank himself to death down in Mexico. Vic invites Shane to his funeral and tells him that if he's at all involved with Antoine, he needs to stop because Vic plans on going after him. Shane tells him that he has no involvement with Antoine. Corrine informs. I don't think Vic did either. Corrine informs Vic that they might be joining in a class action lawsuit against a vaccine company that has been linked to causing autism.
How fast can we go this episode?
Okay.
They meet with a lawyer who pretty much tells them this is going to be very expensive if they do end up pursuing it. Corrine also calls Dutch and Claudette about a woman who was brought in unconscious. It appears to be a case of a prostitute being raped. But when they go to talk to her, she is gone. They do find some security footage of the rape, though. Eventually, they find the woman and bring her into the barn. She says she doesn't know who it was and she doesn't want to talk about it. They get the information back from the hospital and find out she is HIV positive. So now they need to track down this rapist so he doesn't spread the disease to anyone else. Aceveda tries talking to her. He can kind of sympathize a little bit with her. He shows her a little bit of compassion, and she kind of ends up telling him a little bit about what happened. And I think pretty much the only information she gives them was that the rapist was a pizza delivery guy. And then later, Aceveda in his office, he happens to be watching the video of her rape, maybe getting a little bit more excited than someone should be. And then we notice towards the end of the episode when he's packing up his office, he ends up putting that tape in his box to take home. So, yeah, Aceveda, good guy.
Oh.
Vic visits Antoine, who is helping rebuild a house. Speaking of good guys, he asks Antoine to pass Cyril's photo around to his dealers, though Anton insists that he's not involved in any illegal activities. He just runs a rec center for the community. Vic, Ronnie, and Lem eventually find Cyril, and they get him to the hospital to detox, and they get the name of Cyril's drug dealer. But when they show up at his place, the building is in flames. They question the dealer, who tells them that the dealers are switching from crack to black tar heroin all throughout the city.
Good upgrade. Man.
Yep. We're getting closer and closer to the wire, I tell you. Ronnie tells Vic that the fire was started with kitchen grease. Vic confronts his friend Cal, who admits that Cyril has been living with him because he's actually a pre-op trans woman, and that they are planning to be together when she turns 18. He also says that he started the fire in retaliation for the person getting Cyril hooked on crack. Vic tells him to pretty much just get rid of all the evidence that he has there at his place and call a lawyer. Shane and Army visit McReader, a one-niner pimp. And Shane, through some methods, convinces him to become an unofficial informant for him. And he's also going to take 10% of his profits for protection. Monica tells Vic that the only way she will be able to sell him as the head of her new task force is to give Internal Affairs unlimited access to the barn. And then when our episode ends with Vic spying on Shane, who is arguing with a one-niner lieutenant about not being informed about the introduction of black tar heroin. They all pull their guns on each other, and Vic hops out of the car, getting ready to intervene. But the situation kind of diffuses itself, and Shane yells at Antoine, who's watching from a car, that he will only meet with him directly from now on. And that is episode 2.
I thought they weren't working together. Anybody else? Every time you say the word Cyril, like you don't just twitch a little bit? Because every time you said it, I was just like, no, let Oz die. Take those aging pills. No, I like where we're building. As much as I said I think there's unfinished business, I kind of like the idea of separating them and having them work out their own problems. Do we see Shane's new partner yet? Or is that next episode?
Army is his nickname. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Shane's racist as hell, and I don't want to let him know, but his partner is Mexican. I just want that on his face.
Oh,
Like,
what Army said there that they call themselves the hick and the spick. I think it was what they said.
yes, like that's what they say. I'm like, Shane's very racist, so that's problematic overall. So just wanted them on the record that I don't know if he knows that.
I mean, he helps the guy get blown by a
It's like the
prostitute in this
Chappelle
episode.
episode.
So.
Like the Chappelle episode where he's blind. He's like, and he's like a Klan member. Like, no. I think that's interesting. It's a slow build, but I overall enjoy this. And I just want this on the record. I don't know if it was last show or this show or prior to the show. Mark made a big point for me arguing about his Gatorade. His Gatorade is gone. I just want that on the record right now. He drank it very fast.
But it was cold the whole time.
Just want that on the record right here, right now, in this because he's about to be varying with me. He's about a little bit. So, yeah.
No idea. Like, I'm very.
You make no. If you don't agree with me, it's dumb. You should have won this from that episode. Whatever. Just what do you think of the grave before I put you in the grave?
Oh yeah.
You get pistol whipped.
Okay. No, this is interesting. I probably my favorite one of the three this week. I really liked seeing all the stuff with I'm blanking on his name right now. Walton Goggins.
Shane,
Shane. There we go. Why don't we forget his name? I really like
Goggins was way easier to pull than Shane.
Yeah, all his stuff was really neat to see, especially since of all his years with Vic, and then him just going out on his own. Like, okay, this is not only is he sort of like Vic, but he's almost kind of like his own animal. There's definitely a bit of like he is smart in the sense that he knows at least the streets and kind of how to work them in some sense, but there also is this recklessness about him that is like if he didn't have Vic with him, he's 100% getting killed on the streets within like 18 months. Or like he's gonna have Michael Pena like take the fall or something. Also, like to pair him up with a guy like who's like just recently a detective and now has to partner up with Shane. Like you're having me like not tag drugs and you have me getting blown by some prostitute. Like this is weird, man. Like I don't know what to do. Okay. Like I thought training day was just one day. I don't know what was going on with.
That was my favorite part when they first bust into the restaurant. Shane just like clears the table off, and then later on, the waitress brings like a whole nother plate of food for the guy, and Shane just puts out a cigarette in the guy's waffle.
Yeah.
Then we're also getting a better idea of at least what Glenn Close, what her relationship is going to be with Vic. Where I think it's less that she likes Vic, and more. Yeah, Aceveda kind of fucked me on this, and I have to, like, Vic, his home has to be here, and I got to find a way to work with him somehow, and this is kind of the best way I know how to do that.
I wonder if she can be corrupted. That's the question on the table. Like, when the money starts coming in, does it go to her head?
I mean, if anyone can do it, it's got to be Vic.
True. Let me tell you about this money train.
It didn't work out so great the first time, but the next one that comes into town.
All right, you need a second to read this long ass title for the next episode.
Let me see. Episode 3, bang, bang. Nope, just one bang.
We cut a boom. We literally cut a letter off the last one. Made it for.
So we got Billings arrives at the scene of a drive-by. Danny and Julian tell him that the victims were Spook Street Soldier gang members, and that there was black tar heroin found in their vehicle. Vic, Lem, and Ronnie all meet. Len tells them the word on the street is Antoine is bringing in the black tar heroin. And Vic tells them that Shane is now working with Antoine, and they need to keep an eye on him because if anything happens with Shane and he ends up going down, he will probably testify against them to make a deal. Monica holds a meeting with the barn for her first day as captain. She seems to kind of struggle with her speech a little bit at first until Vic kind of gives her a little bit of a boost, and then she kind of recovers. Big thing, we fixed the men's bathroom after over 3 seasons, finally, so that's nice. She tells everyone that all the drugs and gang-related cases are going to flow through Vic, and that they are going to start seizing all criminal assets to help fund their efforts and give back to the community. Meanwhile, the Spook Street gang has hit back on the 1-9ers. And then another retaliation with the 1-9ers hitting back with the Spook Street. Vic visits Antoine. He tells Vic that he's working to keep the peace. And Vic tells him that they both want the same thing so they can work together on this one. Danny, Julian, and Lem question some of the 1-9ers and take their pictures as part of a new department policy where they're going to be taking pictures of gang members, the tattoos, and all that sort of stuff. Vic finds the Spook Street member Choppa at his mother's house, where he and his friends are arrested. He insists that he was not at the scene of the shooting, but Vic finds a bloody shirt in the laundry that says otherwise. And Dutch and Claudette take on a robbery case where a store owner was assaulted with hot coffee. Claudette asks Monica for involvement with the gang war, but she urges Claudette to apologize to the DA to try to get that situated. Dutch and Claudette go to the hospital to talk to the store owner. While they are there, there's a shooting that occurs at the hospital. Vic and Monica then arrive, and Dutch explains that the victim was a Spook Street gang member, and he was killed by a pair of 1-9ers. Dutch and Claudette arrive on the scene of another hot coffee robbery where Dutch makes a racist comment towards the store owner, which Monica later makes him apologize for. Vic and Monica go back to Choppa and press him harder, telling him that the victim at the hospital was his cousin and that they found drugs at his place, but he still refuses to help. Shane shows them a porn tape that Chopper made having sex with a 1-9er girl. Vic and Shane and Army track down the girl from the video. Monica threatens to send child services after her newborn if she doesn't cooperate. And she ends up telling them that the father of the baby is a 1-9er named Puppethead. Vic thinks that the whole war might have started because she made this video with a Spook Street member. Vic and Ronnie go track down Puppethead and arrest him. Monica threatens to have the house that Choppa bought for his mother and young brother seized, but he still won't identify the shooter. Vic talks with Antoine and tells him to keep his men off the street until the war is over. Lem informs Vic that he has heard Antoine has fathered a dozen children from 6 different women. Got a little Elon Musk going on. Dutch asks Claudette to make peace with the DA, insisting that she is only holding out for pride's sake, but she refuses. And while he refuses to drop her as a partner, he ends up going to visit the ADA and tells her that Claudette won't apologize. And the ADA tells him that the only way they can move past it is if Dutch will agree to do favors for her in the future, which he does. I'm sure nothing bad will come from that.
None. 0.
Monica,
not the way TV works now.
Monica adds Danny to her task force based on Vic's recommendation. Monica informs Vic that Antoine paid Puppethead's $250,000 bail in full. Believing that Antoine is going to kill him, they go with Ronnie to Puppethead's house, where they find out Antoine has already given him to the Spook Street gang. in order to end the war. Anton pretty much ended the war on his own terms, and is kind of his reputation in the community is kind of going up a little bit. Vic notes that at least Monica can give the house back to the guy's mother now. Vic visits with Shane at home, meeting his son and seeing Mara. Vic offers Shane a job working with him, but Amara says that he's doing just fine without him. Shane, though, says he's going to think about it. And then towards the end of the episode here, Monica goes to the house where the repo man says that Vic told him they weren't taking the house anymore. She talks to Vic, who says they don't need it anymore since the war is over. But Monica tells him there can be no exceptions. She isn't going to be doing things like Aceveda. And she signs off on the house being seized. And that is the end of our episode.
Yeah. They got the mama involved, like stealing some house. So that's wild. But like, you weren't bending. She was going to keep pulling. And she's like, you can't do that. I know Mariah. No, you don't, buddy. No, you don't. You have no clue. As I keep going. But her hunting down on gang violence is like, I think, going to be the main crux. Like, and I don't know the staying power of that for 13 episodes, but we'll see. Like, overall, like, without it getting more and more escalated. But I think this show just got a really fresh start. This is like one of the reboots we were talking about, discussing, because this felt like a new paint job on the Shield. Same character, same thing, same interior, but there's just new things that we didn't have previous seasons. Some are good, some are bad. Again, only time will tell. But it's almost like we hit the reset button a little bit on some of this stuff. So, like, I like Glenn Close 4. I need the tension to rival up against the strike team and Aceveda, that stuff, or it's gonna like. It's just weird. I don't like Vic working buddy with like the head cop too long. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, I've had 3 episodes.
Vic needs to be bashing his head against somebody. What's going on?
Yeah, now he's kissing her ass and stuff. It's a little weird, but we'll see how it all works. But
he did disagree with her on how she handled the house, so we'll see if that ends up sowing some discontent. But who knows?
That's true.
Yeah, she. I mean, that really was a great scene when that lady comes into the police station, wanting her house back, and then Glenn Close is looking at her, stone face. No, you broke the law. It belongs here. You can't take the moral high ground.
Money came from.
He's like, I'm a mother. Yeah, you can't take a moral high ground when you're taking drug money, and not gonna happen, buddy.
Yeah, like you don't have kids, but like, bitch, like, you got them for drugs. Like, what are you talking about?
That was great. I mean, she can't end a speech. That is one of her weaknesses. Like, can't take a cue. It was like, all right, we're gonna get new cars. All right, new cars. All right, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get to work. And she just keeps going. Like, she had an end in mind, and like, she was not gonna be clapped off. She took some notes from Adrian Brody from this last year's Oscars.
Oh God. I'd have literally voted. I would have took his Oscar away as soon as he started.
All right, so I think that takes us out of the Shield.
Yeah, you're done. Should I get my frustration out before I let you talk? Because it's basically the start of the season.
It's the very start of the season. Okay. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I need even more. Okay. What is it?
This is bullshit, okay? We do a whole leaving on your own front, Jane stuff, setting up meetings, like, don't come in the thing, blah, blah, blah. And we literally jump to them as established agency. This is horseshit.
Where's Cody's room season?
I wanted them to build their agent. That would have been such a cool season of like working through all the like hiccups of finding the thing. Instead, we just became freaking the same agency. Just
does it say how long it was in between the seasons?
I mean, I don't think it was like that long, and maybe like 6 months.
I mean, these
Makes
guys
no
get
sense.
At the most a
these
year.
guys are rich. They can go out and rent some
I
space.
know, but I wanted them
Or-
to have struggles or something.
Or,
It would
or
be
you know,
cool.
I think it's 9 months
Okay.
because it was like it was around the new year because that was when they left. It was around
Mhm.
Christmas, New Year's,
That's true. Yeah.
and I think it's like October whenever we came back.
Mhm.
So like 10-ish months, almost.
Yeah. And they're dealing with multi-million-dollar customers. So
It's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. It would have been a way better start to the season
Well,
of
they
them
could at
building up their ad
maybe like
agency
an
versus
episode.
just a jump into where we're at. We're walking around a new building that's just basically got a facelift.
I mean, I will say this: the rest of the show maybe doesn't bode well if you're not happy with time jumps. So I think we're gonna.
Not when there's interesting, because you left off the last episode, which you will argue is one of the best episodes. And to say like the Avengers is teaming up, we're gonna get going, and then all of a sudden, oh well, what the fuck missed? Oh, we just got a facelift. We're basically the same fucking place.
So
This
you're
was a
saying that
stupid-ass
they
name.
should have shown
Dumb
the
name.
5 years in between and the time jump and Endgame. They should have showed that 5 years.
You know that is a different argument, and you know it. I don't need to see those bodies. I need to see them building up their ad agency from the ground up, because this show is smartly written, and you got learning curves that they have to do because they had other people handling it for them, and now they had to really hire people out. When we get there, everybody's fucking hired. Dumb.
I mean,
Dumb.
I'm not 100% like. I like one. I don't really care about this that much. Like, I don't really think it really matters. But you really wanted to see them sign the rental agreement on the building. Like, I guess that would have been cool. I don't know. Like,
Oh
Roger
my
said
god!
something funny.
You know that's not what. This is what you two scumbags do all the time to me.
Cody wanted to see the struggle.
You take my words and you be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get to see him sign a piece of paper." You know that's not what I'm fucking talking about. You know better.
I just don't think there's like a ton of different stuff in there. Like, they got the clients.
They probably could have given us like one episode.
Like, I guess they got in
Guess
the
what?
offices.
Last episode, if I could go back in time and take away points for the season at the end, I would, because now it means fucking dick.
I mean, and they made it kind of a point, like, throughout this episode, they didn't really gain a ton of new business. They just ended up here and they hired some new people. Like,
I mean,
like,
they have to have a presentable place to bring these people to. They can't just keep meeting them at like restaurants and stuff. So otherwise, they're going to lose them.
but they also don't have a table. They made a big deal about that, at least. I mean, we're burying the lead on a couple of these things, and we're going to get. Although I don't think I made a note of the table.
Just proceed.
Okay. Well, yeah, we started out with the illustrious line of, "Who is Donald Draper?" Don is doing an interview with a guy like from a advertising like paper, whatever, to kind of try to boost the profile of our new company, Sterling Cooper Draper Price.
Dumbass name. Terrible name.
So he's there, and Don is very much giving some Bill Belichick vibes with some of these interview answers. Not really answering questions, just kind of,
Current Bill Belichick or 2010 Bill Belichick? Because him and his little 18-year-old girlfriend might have a different story.
I mean, we're gonna get to some parts in this episode where it maybe a bit of both.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, so,
Scumbag alert.
So yeah, like, he's not really giving him a whole ton for the interview. Roger and Pete show up to kind of see how it's going, but the interview is pretty much done immediately. They end up going to a meeting with some bathing suit people. They wanted to try to basically try to cut their way in to the bathing suit market without being sexy, essentially. Like that was kind of what they were like. They were giving them an impossible task. I don't know what they wanted, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What a dumb. It didn't happen. I don't know if it happens in this episode or later, but fully hats off.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to do my rant. I'm sorry. I have to do my rant. I
Yes.
have Amazon Prime. I pay
Okay.
the AMC add-on to have Mad Men so I can watch it. Not only have they thrown ads on me, fuck them. Whatever. Pissed off about it. Still haven't found that way to turn that off. Mad. It's only at the start, but pisses me off. Second, this season, episode 1.
All right.
No episode 2. No episode 3.
I had that problem with episode 3.
I clicked play. Yes, I clicked play. I watched it. I didn't think anything of it. I saw the spin and saw season 4, episode 4. And I was like, I have
Yeah.
watched 3 episodes of Mad Men right now? No, I have. There's no possible way. So I back out? No, I don't have 2 of the episodes.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
think
like, oh my God, what do they do in this episode? Is there racist? Are they raping them? Know what we're doing? Nope. Nothing. So I had to go to a different thing. I paid for it and still got effed.
I had to buy episode 3 from Vudu because I freaking those 2 episodes like disappeared for like a couple of days. Now they're on there now, but it was weird.
Wild. I just want to get that rant out of me. Anyway. That's why you buy physical media. Blah blah blah. Hey, guess what? Fuck off.
I think a while ago I bought Mad Men on Vudu because it was like cheap off Black Friday or something. Like I'm just curious. We're way past that, but the blackface episode, no issues with that one. Able to see that one. Like that one was good. But like these 2 were okay.
Okay, it's on.
I think it was just a glitch sort of thing for some reason.
It's now. I went back. I just clicked on it. It's now. They're both there.
Yeah, it was like
there.
There was like Monday and
watched it on
Tuesday they
Monday.
weren't there, and then like Wednesday
Monday
they
was the
showed up
same.
again.
I was motherfucking stuff. I was so angry. I had to watch an ad, and now you tell me I don't get 2 of the episodes that I paid for? What are you talking about? Wild. Proceed. My bad. Had to rant.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, Don, he's also starting to get some, in that meeting, a couple other spots, starting to get some praise for a commercial they did for a product called Glow Coat. And we see that commercial later on, something about a kid who's locked in like some makeshift jail because he can't walk on the shiny floor, whatever. And then, yeah, we do see the new offices, Sterling Cooper, Draper Price. Everybody seems like they got a ton, some familiar faces, some new faces, sort of things. We'll see them going on there. Peggy and Pete are trying to figure out how to boost up a product of theirs of the sugarberry hams. They don't really like the way the ad direction's going. They're trying to figure out something they can do because they are all sugarberry is also not paying. Seems like they're paying them in hams. They think that's what was going on here. So Don's accountant's going over some of the final divorce things. Apparently, Betty has not moved out of the house. He had to be out of there. Oh, it has to be after October 1 because he said she had to be out October 1. He made it seem like she was still there. Okay, so definitely at least 10 months. There we go. Roger then set up Don with one of Jane's friends. He said, "Yeah, I got a picture of you. What happens after you leave the office?" And it made me sad. I guess that's how Don is. Yeah, he goes on his date. This person's name is Bethany. Looks like it's going well. Don is like sharing some conversation, and they're having a decent time. Then takes a cab home. And he was like, "Hey, maybe I go up there with you." He's like, "Nah, I know what you're doing." They kiss a little bit, and he definitely wants to get some more in, but like, yeah, she won't let him. She's like, "Yeah, we'll see what happens around New Year's, and I'll pick it up then." He's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And do I if I can skip that?
Probably.
So, I mean, I didn't write that down, but I'm pretty sure immediately. No, wait, no, I don't think he does that. Never mind. That's later on. Okay. But yeah. So Pete and Peggy then hatch a scheme. Yeah, Pete and Peggy hatch a scheme to have 2 ladies fight over a sugarberry ham to try to boost the profile of it happens. Seems to go off okay, but then the two ladies are actually kind of angry at each other, and then they actually start actually fighting. Like after it's going on, they didn't think anything of it. Like seems like it went pretty well, and like caught on to like newspapers and such. Like they thought they were gonna have a good deal happen with that Sugarberry ad. Uh, Harry comes back with L.A. He has good news about selling a TV special for Highlight. Uh, the article does come out, and it's not very good. Doesn't really say anything about it. Roger is telling Don, "Yeah, you kind of fucked this one up. Should have. Is supposed to help us out, and they don't really know anything about you or the agency. So yeah, sucks for us, so to speak." They have having a board meeting later on, and what do you know? Because Don did not mention these highlight people in the article, they're like, "Hey, I guess you don't like us anymore." So they pulled their business. They lost the TV special, and Harry is now all pissed. And upon doing that, uh,
What a bitch. Not Don, the company. Yeah, didn't mention me. You know how many ads I fucking have, bitch? You ain't top priority. My life isn't that the guy that
Yeah,
says
that's
if
that
it
one
doesn't
guy,
work,
the
if it
rich
yeah,
doesn't
kid.
work, it's your fault.
Yeah.
that
Tie
guy.
him behind a car and drag him. He sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't decide. Yeah, let's try to get Don another interview with the Wall Street Journal. Let's see if it goes better that way. Uh, but Don is like, "Yeah, I don't need to do that. I don't need to be doing any of this bullshit." So they kind of shelved that idea for now. Uh, Betty and Henry then have their Thanksgiving with Henry's family. Sally is kind of a dick, and then Betty kind of pulls the old, "Okay, I think we got to go check something else in the other room," and then it's definitely a bit of a 50s, 60s kid discipline in the other room happening there. Uh, oh yeah, that's what happens. It turns out because Don was always telling people he had plans for Thanksgiving. Turns out his plans was meeting with a prostitute, and he was going to have himself a good old time with the prostitute. And apparently, he likes to be slapped. That was the thing we learned about Don here. So hey, I mean, whatever works for you, man. Like, cool. You're paying for it. Good on you. All right.
I know what you want. Like, beats the fuck out again. Harder.
Don's been a bad boy, so yeah, it makes sense.
Ugh.
Uh, yeah. After the sexual congress, Don does get a call from Peggy, saying, "Hey, I need some bail money," because they didn't tell Don about this whole Sugarberry thing. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, we had two ladies fight over a ham. It's meant to be a stunt. It gets in the paper, goes good. But then those two ladies fought each other for real, and now they're in jail, and we got to bail them out in jail." And of course, like Don is not happy about it. Peggy goes by his house, and she brings her boyfriend, thinks gonna make it better. He's still angry at Peggy. The boyfriend says something, like, "Hey, what are you yelling at her for?" He's like, "Who the hell are you? Like, what are you doing here?" in the face. So yeah, it didn't go the way he wanted.
Who are you? I'm a fiance. Should have stayed in the car. Like if you didn't want him to be, you should have knocked him up here. Like, yeah,
Peggy didn't yell at Don when she had to bail him out of jail. So
that's true.
Oh,
His
yeah.
reason was worse too. So,
Okay, yeah, not too much. Yeah, Don does the kids for a weekend. Doesn't really seem like they do a lot. Brings them back over. Betty and Henry are kind of late getting home.
be
He
back by 9.
yeah reiterates to her is like, "Hey, you got to get out of the house, or I'm gonna have to start charging your rent." Like, this is bullshit. Should have been out October 1. And like they're like, "What? There's nothing out here." I was like, "Okay, yeah, not my problem. We're not married anymore. Just get out of the house." And of course, he leaves. Everybody's upset about that. Is what it is. Peggy then meets up with Dawn in the morning. She kind of tells her, "Hey, don't do anything like that about running it by me." Uh, Henry then visits mom after Thanksgiving, and she makes it known that she's not a huge fan of Betty. So, yeah, kind of matching the sentiments of everybody who was watching the show at the time. Dawn has a meeting with the bathing suit people. It kind of shows them the new ad campaign. Yeah, and this guy is like, I don't know. It seems suggestive, and like Don's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. He's like, I
So
don't know.
special, we can't even show you the second floor. But
He's
damn.
like, what? He's like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, it's just too sexy. Like if we're a family company, we told you about this, right, in the meeting. He's like, all right, I guess you guys want to be like fourth place for us. You're like, all right, go ahead. And like pretty much tells off those guys, walks out of the meeting. He's like, and then Roger is like, okay, well maybe you'll see if Campbell can get the like. What do you mean Campbell's good? No, no, guys, get the hell out of our boardroom. We're done here.
Go.
And yeah,
Campbell's like, what? Wow. Yeah, Pete, that's how you do business, buddy. Get out of here.
Yeah, Don leaves that interview, tells Don to set up that interview with the Wall Street Journal. And then at that meeting with the reporter, he then basically tells the exciting version of how they started to show the Cooper Draper price. Like, I walked into Lane's office and I said, fire us.
So not only did they skip out on the beginning of the episode, then he starts telling the story for Cody, and then they just go to credits. Oh.
He did. He did. So we're in the hotel, and then bump.
Yeah, go ahead and defend that, Mark.
We just need to find Cody that article.
About it. Like,
and the
I don't care about it. Oh, more time with these fake characters would suck so bad. Bunch of kick rocks. Hard rocks. Like ones that will break your toes.
But yeah, that's the end. Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot throughout it, but I don't know. Anybody's got anything else about public relations?
I'm changing my stance 4 seasons in. Not a big Betty fan when she's with this douchebag.
Yeah.
What is this douchebag
So she's
thing?
cool when she's the victim, but when she's like in a good relationship.
Yeah,
you see more of her flaws. You see more of her flaws when she's in a good relationship. She's pretty abusive to the children.
Mhm.
Problem. Second, what is the douchebag's name?
Henry.
Henry goes when he's like, Don is right. We do need to get out of here. He's not gonna last, let's be fair. Mama don't like him. He ain't gonna last. So that I just want that on the record. Not gonna last at all. What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else about yeah, I just feel like she sucks when she's away from Dom, and I didn't know I was gonna feel that way, but I feel that way. But yeah, hopefully the overall like I'm glad Don did what he did with the swimsuit, because like you're asking for like an unattainable task. And like I'm gonna give you what I think, but once it's a no, it's like you're a fucking idiot. I can't help you. You're stupid, and this is what it is. Like
season 1 Don would have probably worked with him, but season 4 Don,
what's the difference between
over that.
what's the difference between underwear and 1 and 2 piece? Imagination and like material, like nothing. There's no difference. So like an idiot. Sorry, sucks to suck. But yeah, overall, I think it's a great start of the season. I just wish we had more startup. I think it would have been fun to explore.
Oh, see what we got. Oh, you got Matt. I was gonna.
Yeah, I think we pretty much kind of hit all the points. Yeah, good start.
Okay. Oh yeah, I was getting at episode number 2. Christmas comes but once a year. Getting into that.
Christmas episodes when it's not Christmas. It annoys me. But move on.
Henry and Betty take the kids at a Christmas tree shopping, and who do we run into? Our favorite guy ever. We run into Glenn. Glenn
he has risen.
Yeah, and as he said to Bobby, yeah, I made it. As he got a job cutting ribbon for the Christmas tree. So,
now he can give Betty the life she's always deserved.
Yeah, so
he's gonna make me have a panic attack later. I'll tell you that much.
Oh God, yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah,
him and that fuckface kid. I'll fuck them both.
Yeah, so they like Sally and Glenn have a little bit of a conversation. kind of noting that they're still living around there. Sally wrote a Santa letter to Don to pretty much figure out kind of what the kids wanted for Christmas. Sounds like Sally knows about Santa already, but that's going over with Don's secretary. Quickly turns personal when Sally is like, "Hey, I'd really like you home, but I know you can't be here." I'm like, "Ah, shit. Okay, well, good enough." They end up figuring out Don has a secretary buy some Christmas presents, and he also makes note that that the Christmas office party sounds like it's going to be kind of shitty. It's because they don't have any money. Yeah, all their money is being tied up in the actual business. So it's going to
If we
be.
were to solve the struggles of that forming or have what?
I mean, they were
We're
Move
gonna.
on.
seeing the struggles. They
They're,
can't have a good Christmas party.
Move on.
their
Move
original
on.
their original
Move on.
Christmas party would have been a box of Velveeta and sounds like a bottle of liquor. It sounds like it's gonna be shitty. I don't think anybody was gonna go to that. Uh, oh, maybe we still
Move
got
on.
it. I don't know.
We can make that work.
But yeah, oh yeah, Fred. We see Freddie come back. Yeah, the guy who pissed his pants in his office. He's back. He brings him an account. Wanted to do a little bit of freelance work for them, but he also asked Pete not to be a part of the account because I guess he's sour about Pete getting him out. Excuse me. Roger then tells everybody about the account, and he also avoids the awkward moment when Pete tries to ask whether or not Freddie was sober. But we at least got to that. Uh, Glenn calls Sally at home, and they have a little back and forth there, kind of getting one over on Carla. The partners do have a meeting with a research group that they're going to be working with, and that is where we first meet Dr. Faye Miller, who will be a slight fixture going throughout the season. She wanted to have everybody take a test to kind of figure out what's the best way to kind of do these strategies. Don is like, "Yeah, I only got to be here for this bullshit," and he just leaves. And he gets the secretary to tell him, "Hey, whenever they close the curtain, tell me so I can just get out of here." He's I'm just done for the day. Uh, Don is then woken up by his neighbor the next morning. She's a nurse getting ready for a Christmas party. She invites him to that because she just sees him there alone, and I guess she thinks he's a sad, lonely man. Uh, Freddie and Peggy are kind of working over the new account. They're already starting to have disagreements. It does feel like Freddie does think he's back in the old times where he was her boss. So a little weird about that. Their first meeting also gets cut short where one of his AA buddies went out and had a wet lunch with Roger. So he felt like he had to go to fix that. Uh, Lee Garner Jr. calls, head of the Lucky Strike, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here? What's up with you guys?" And Roger's like, "Oh, nothing. We're gonna have our Christmas party here at the office." Our Christmas party. Oh, that sounds neat. I think I want to go. And Roger's like, "I don't think you want to do that. We can just go out and grab a steak or whatever." Nah, I'm gonna go to this Christmas party. And he's like, "Well, shit. All right. I guess we got to have a real Christmas party now. We gotta, hire a bartender, have drinks, and also bring people in the office, make it look bigger than it actually is. So we gotta do something." And Lane is like, "Man, we gotta spend money. This is some bullshit. Couldn't just get him to go to a theater or something." It's like, "Nah, we can't do that." So yeah, let's figure this out. So they have that going. Find out Peggy. Oh yeah, we see Peggy again with her boyfriend Mark. And yeah, I guess Mark is not aware of Peggy's sexual history, and at least also the vibes that just the context clues of it does seem like Peggy's only giving Mark hand jobs at the time, which boo Peggy. No, they'll just say that. Come on.
Peggy's saving herself.
Yeah, not cool.
Once you've been Pete, you have to re-virginize yourself.
I mean, it had been after Duck. She saw it. I guess the things with Duck didn't end well. So.
Peggy doesn't have the best taste in guys.
Once you go Pete and Duck, you have to re-virginize yourself.
one moment she just looked up and like, fuck, what have I been doing this whole time? Yeah. Yeah, then yeah, Don does come home drunk, and his nurse neighbor sees it. She helps him. Great scene where he drops his keys and looks down at the floor. It's like, fuck, I dropped him all the way down there. Hey, like, I don't know how we're gonna figure that one out. So she lets him into the apartment. Yeah, of course he gets a little grabby, and she's able to fight that off. She gets him over to bed. Uh, then we see uh Betty. Oh no, it's Peggy. I meant Peggy. Yeah, Peggy
Whoa.
gets frustrated with Freddy after Freddy keeps insisting on a strategy that Betty. I have Betty written here for some reason that Peggy doesn't like, and she yells at him and say, "Everybody thinks you're old fashioned, and basically no, that's why nobody likes you anymore." And then Freddy is like, "Well, okay," and he just kind of leaves all sad. Like Peggy does try to kind of apologize with Spot, but it is what it is. Christmas party then comes here. It's underway, and it definitely looks expensive. Everybody's there. Everybody's happy, trying to have a party. And then, of course, they set up a whole production when Lee Garner Jr. does arrive. It's like, hey, look, the man of the hour shows up. All right. So he's there. Then, yeah, we get to, I guess, Cody's other favorite moment of the week when Glenn and his friend show up to the Draper house after he calls to make sure that nobody's there, and his buddy and him basically just start trashing the house. They start pulling out food. They're like cracking eggs over the counter, tossing flour everywhere, and then they start they destroy the kitchen. Then they start making their way upstairs. So see that, yeah, the family they are able to make it out before the family does return. The family does see like, ah, shit, all like all the things everywhere. The brother's like, ah, there's eggs in my bed, but hey, Sally's room is like completely left alone, and she finds that little like thing that he had like on his knife, so she knows it's Glenn's, and she clutches it as she goes to bed. So yeah, it looks like she's starting to get a crush on fucking
He
Glenn.
shot a shot with Betty and didn't work out, so he's moved on to Sally now.
Either that or the really weird thing is he's starting to play the long game, which good on you. Oh yeah, and I guess we see a conga line, and the note I wrote here is this is why nobody does conga lines anymore because they suck. Yeah. Then yeah, the party's going on, and Freddy was supposed to be Santa, but he doesn't show up for obvious reasons. And they were like, "Hey, we need somebody to play Santa." And then like Lee Garner is like, "Hey, why doesn't Roger be Santa?" And like Roger's like, "I don't want to fucking be Santa." It's like, "Well, why don't you put on the Santa suit and just see how it fits?" And he's like, fucking fine." So Roger begrudgingly puts on the Santa suit, and we do see him be mildly humiliated throughout the party, having to give out gifts of
While
smokes.
Lee is trying to get with his wife, and then also, and you painted it in a way better picture than what it was, where he's like, "Ah, you see, put on the suit. Like, you don't have a fucking choice. Put on the suit." So
Yeah,
that was
well,
funny.
I mean, it gets better. He's giving gifts, and of course, they give Lee Garner a Polaroid. And what does he love to do with that Polaroid? He's like, "Hey, why don't everybody just sit on Santa's lap while I take pictures with the Polaroid?" Which, yeah, included several employees that Roger is the boss of. So yeah, there we go. Uh, but yeah, at the end of that party, Don is confronted by Faye about him leaving the meeting early. Uh, they end up kind of fighting a little bit, but they end up kind of making up. And then, hey, she also throws in like some lines. Hey, I know what kind of guy you are. You're probably going to be married in a year. You don't got to worry about being single forever. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, don't worry, it'll happen. Don does leave the party, but he forgets his keys. So drat. But he calls the office, has his secretary Allison bring them right over. She shows up at his apartment. Of course, like Don is just stone drunk at this point. she gets him in there and trying to give him like some food and some aspirin. And yeah, what do you know? Don is like, "Oh, look, a woman," and I'm drunk. So he just starts making moves on her. She's kind of, pulling away, but at some point she's like, "Oh shit, then Don Draper's right here." Like, so they end up having sex in his apartment. And
Not just a
yeah,
hand job.
yeah, no, they were like, "Oh, look at this," and like they
I mean,
kind of
they're
share.
clearly in love, so.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it. Yeah, they kind of share a little bit of an awkward goodbye, but everything seems kind of cool and copacetic at the time. So pretty sure it's gonna go on fine from here on out. Because then we go to the next morning. Peggy and Freddie then kind of make up. They apologize to each other, and then yeah, she talks about her current relationship and how she's. I mean, she basically talks to Freddie about putting out or whatever, and then Freddie is like, "Yeah, you probably should." And what do you know? That's exactly what Peggy does. She ends up actually having sex with her fiance. So
She loses her virginity. A very sweet moment. Yeah.
yeah, again.
Again, what? No, it was the first time. Don't you sacrilegious her name.
Yeah. Then later Don does see Allison again in the morning, and like a true gentleman, Don does not really acknowledge what happened the night before. He's like, "Hey, thanks for bringing my keys. It was real cool of you." And hey, and way to go, Slugger. Thanks for also buying my kids some presents. And here's your Christmas bonus, like I said it would get. And he gives her $100 in probably what is the most like impersonal card I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, hey, thanks for all the good work, Don. That's it. And she's like, the fuck is that? And that is where we leave her. And that's where they leave us at the end of a Christmas comes, but once a year.
Yeah, wild. Driver's a douchebag. He always has been. He always will be. He did give the equivalent to like $1,000 to our standards, so take that with for what you will. I think her dignity was a little bit worth a little bit more than $1,000. Um, Glenn's parents or Glenn's mom should have swallowed. I mean that in the nicest way possible. That little shit, I'd be in jail. I swear I'd be in jail. That kid, when they smear the peanut butter and jam all over the fucking thing and then pour cereal on top of it, and then just throw eggs against the eyes, just like, I understand Sally doesn't like living here right now. But listen here, Glenn. I will kill you. I will kill you where you stand. Lee's a douchebag of Lucky Strike, but he's worth 71% of basically their entire advertising. So Lee gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. So
Oh, yeah.
if that's the fuck his main person's wife, like, then fine, I guess that's on the table. And they're giving out Lucky Strike cigarettes. Like, fucking everybody's, that entire thing has all got lung cancer, every one of them. Yeah, but that card was fucking rough, and that scene was even worse. Like,
I
oh,
feel
I
like
know I
he
got
probably
in.
had the card was filled out before their evening
I know you
together.
got my keys. I know I got in the house, so I know you had to bring me my keys. But like, thanks. I'm just like, oh, what a scumbag! Don just doesn't know how to like be respectful at all. So it's fucking weird. So yeah,
I will say I'm happy to see Eugene's back. I like his character, but I do not condone his actions and what he did with the house. If I came home and saw that someone had broken into my house, they didn't take anything, but they wrecked it like that. But if I see that one of the children's rooms was untouched, I would be interrogating that child. Be like, you were involved in this one way or another. I don't know how, but you know something.
You would confront one of your children and think, okay, this shit was an inside job. We're gonna see if we can break you.
Do you see every other room in this house? Oh.
Okay, yeah. Don, really good guy. Really good guy.
Yeah,
in this
good guy.
episode.
Good guy.
Definitely not.
Fucking stop! You're a scumbag.
Eh,
Right. He
Oh.
gave her a bonus out of his own money.
Yeah, $100. She did
Sure.
really good work.
Yeah, she did.
Never
The
gets
vertical
easier, right?
work, like just like straight horizontal mumbo, like oh wild. He didn't sober up at all. Please. Not have any. Come on, buddy. I don't care how hammered you are. Come on.
And you know how much he must be drinking now to get that drunk?
Well, he doesn't eat. Clearly,
Oh, true.
he
Yeah.
keeps getting told eat. Motherfucker's not eating. He's just drinking straight scotch.
Okay.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yeah, we're gonna try to set a record here. All right. Yeah, we got the good news. Good news.
A record in
episode
what
3.
aspect?
We're gonna try to blow through this really quickly because not a ton.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, Joan goes to her doctor. She's trying to get pregnant. Tells him about maybe a couple of abortions she had, but doctor doesn't seem super worried about it. She then also tries to get some days off from Lane because apparently her husband's shipping out pretty soon. And he's like, "Hey, don't worry, you got the first off." They're like, "Well, I want the 18th off." And then Lane is like, "Well, tough titties, like too bad. You can't."
Whoa.
I'm
You
immune to
can't
your
say that
charms.
to you can't say that phrase to Joan.
No.
No.
I don't think Lane is super afraid of Joan. Like unlike everybody else in the show, he doesn't really care. But yeah, she can't get the days off. Her and her husband get into a fight about it, and that's the way he is. Because he's like the best, whatever. Yeah, Don goes to California to go see Anna before he goes to Acapulco. I think it's the way you say it. Whatever. Yeah, that's where he meets Stephanie, a young lady that does kind of seem to be around Anna because she does seem hurt. She kind of broke her leg not that long ago. So her and Stephanie and her mom have been kind of helping her out around the house. They go out to dinner. Seems to go well. Don does ends up dancing with Stephanie at some point. And then, yeah, of course, they share a conversation about Betty finding out everything about him and how Don felt bad about that. I think that seemed to be the
Betty
joke.
broke his heart. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I should have told her. Like, it was on me. Next time, I'll make sure the girl definitely doesn't find out about my past, and I'll make everything better.
I'm gonna burn those pictures.
Yeah, so they get back. Don then drives Stephanie home. And yeah, what do you know? Don thinks of his dick once again. He starts to making a move on her. And she's like, "Hey, first of all, it's probably not do this. But you also got to know, because I can tell you care about Anna. You should know that she has cancer." And then Don is like, "Well, that's a fucking mood killer. Wish you would have told me that after. Not cool." But yeah, so he's like doesn't know what to think at this point. She also admits that Anna doesn't know either. They elected not to tell her because apparently the cancer was very advanced. So Donna's like, "The fuck is going on? What did I just land into like in here a little bit ago?" Don then pretty much stays up the night, doesn't really know what to do. The next morning, he then tells Anna while he's painting her living room, he decided to stay a little bit longer. They kind of have a nice little conversation. And then, of course, Stephanie's mom shows up. She's like, "Oh, look at this piece of shit painting the living room." She also does remember him driving home like at 2 in the morning. She thinks right away that Don slept with her daughter, which right on her for thinking so, but good. Thankfully, it didn't happen. And Don goes and talks to her. He's like, "Hey, what the fuck? Aren't you gonna what do we know about like Anna's condition? Like why haven't you told her anything? And also, yeah, I'm here. We're gonna have her see some good doctors." And like she's like, "Listen, we checked around everywhere. They say it's bad. She doesn't have a long time, and like it's just better that it just doesn't happen. And also, it's probably better you don't stick around either, because like you stick around, she's going to be asking questions, and you're going to probably tell her at some point. And Don is, kind of dumbfounded here, because I do think deep down Don also knows he's not a great person, because he ultimately does agree with her, because he goes back in the house and says, "Hey, turns out I gotta leave." And Anna, of course, is a little bit upset about that, but Don is like, "Don't worry, I'll bring the kids over for Easter," even though he knows this is possibly the last time he'll ever see Anna again. Uh, then we go back to the office for a bit. Joan does receive some roses, and it says like it has maybe a bit of a cutesy message, and it says from Lane, and she gets all fired up about that, and she throws the roses in his face. She's like, "Hey, what the fuck is this? Like, why are you coming on to me? Like you don't respect me?" He's like, "Hold on a second. I sent roses to you and my wife. There was the intentions were very different. Let's bring in my secretary on to see what she has to say." And yeah, pretty much secretary is like, "Yeah,
Oops.
turns out the place in London got mixed up the messages. What does the card that was meant to Joan say that was sent to my wife?" Which is like, "Joan, I'm very sorry, Lane." He's like, "Ah, God damn it. Now I gotta call my wife about this shit." So, of course, the secretary's fired. Obviously, like, now Lane is in the doghouse or some shit he didn't even do. So they were upset about that. Jonah does go home. She tries to celebrate a belated New Year's with her husband after he's been working the whole time. She then cuts herself trying to. I don't even know what she was trying to do, but she cuts herself at some point. They have kind of a nice moment where the guy's kind of fixing her up and thinking, "Oh, this is what we do." He's trying to be kind of have like a nice bedside manner. Then yeah, she starts crying because she knows that he's about to leave pretty soon. He's like, "Well, don't worry, it'll work itself out." It's, I think more or less his mentality for that. Don does go back into the office. He did not go to Acapulco like he had planned. I guess like didn't still didn't like the news he got. And who's the only one at the office? Good old Lane. And they basically just start broing out that whole time. They just start hanging out in the office, drinking, have themselves a bit of a dude's night out. They go to the movies, they have some dinner, they go to our comedy show, and they also kind of talk about their possible marital troubles, probably how both of their marriages, or how Lane's marriage is probably ending, and talks about Don saying, "Hey, how'd you know your marriage was ending?" It's like, "Well, I learned enough to not give any advice." And it's like, "Well, shit. I guess we'll just keep eating meat and drinking. That's probably the best thing you can help me do." Uh, and then at some point, Don is like, "Hey, I was gonna call some lady friends of mine. Would you be down for that?" And sure. Turns out it was yeah, they were prostitutes. Both of them were in fact prostitutes. And they end up going back to his place. They start hanging out. Of course, they do some bit of extracurricular activities. And it does seem like they have a grand old night with the ladies of the night. Uh, Lane is appreciative, pays for his lady, and they part ways. And we go into that next day, and we see the first uh, business day of 1965 at Sterling Cooper Draper Price, and that is the end of the good news.
Yeah, this is a fun episode. I mean, I'm usually not the biggest fan of whenever Don goes out to California, but it didn't take up the whole episode this time, so that was cool. I loved the whole the Don and Lane stuff in the back half of the episode. I love that they went to Godzilla and then had a great old time with that. And it just shows that Don's really not having. I don't think he's like really in it to win it this season. Normally he'd be with the girls left and right, but now he's just striking out with every girl that's like not a prostitute or someone who works for him in one way or another.
Yeah, he's been retired. I did like the latest stuff, like the comedy or whatever. The guy was like ripping on him in the crowd or whatever. I'm like, oh, you do have ladies. Oh, you're rich. Got it. Like a lot of money. How much is it? $25. Okay, okay. Like, just like got it. So there's been some funny back and forth that I overall enjoyed from the episode. It's kind of nice when we do get out of like the old ad thing to see where they go. I think it was okay. I mean, there was some like I don't love California. Sad news, like looks like many trips to California are kind of done now. Uh, like not to be insensitive, but yeah, California may become expired. Um, but overall, great overall episode. I don't think
I
you set a record though. I think you were still a little long-winded. I just want that on the record.
tried not to stop him. I'm always surprised, at least when I get to this episode. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Lane and Don throwing out episode. Like,
Which
always.
is too uncommon, bro outs. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But
Well, Don pretty much like forced him, like, "Hey, we're going to the movies."
Don does like to take the people completely fish out of waters with him. Like when he took Salva with him to get and he
I
got
love
busy
too
with
that
the
Don is
bellboy.
just like a cinephile. He's always going to the movies. The flip there's like, no, I've seen that one, seen that one.
I would say the only person that's more of a cinephile is Tony Soprano, but we'll get to that. But like, yeah, I agree with you.
I honestly would have liked to see a version of this episode when they did see the umbrellas of Sherberg just
Oh,
drunk out their ass, like talking the whole time.
That would have been great.
But yeah, let's just go ahead and finish up my part of this. Episode 4, The Rejected. Yeah, they get into a call. They start having a call with Lee Garner Jr. about stuff. But then very quickly, Pete is told that they have to get rid of Clear Cell. They have a conflict. Was it Pond's Cream? That was what it was called, or whatever. Saying, yeah, they think it's a conflict. You got to get rid of them because they're worth more money. Pete is a little bit upset because he said he had to do a lot to get that account to bring it back over, but they are telling him to play ball. Harry does tell Pete that Kenny is getting married and they were going to have lunch together soon. Pete, not super happy about that. Definitely still has some ill will to Kenny a little bit, probably because of the whole co-heads of account thing. Peggy then meets an interesting woman in the elevator named Joyce. Definitely something that piqued her interest a bit. Pete then meets up with his father-in-law to give him the bad news, but instead his father-in-law gives him some good news. He kind of spills the beans on Trudy being pregnant. And he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that." And then the father-in-law is a little bit upset about that. He's like, "Ah shit, I shouldn't have told you." But I guess if you didn't know, what were you gonna tell me? He's like, some new creative on Clear Cell, whatever. Like, doesn't matter. Hey, Trudy's pregnant. They had to get drunk at the bar. Pete goes home to celebrate with Trudy a little bit. He does seem he seems to be really way more on board about the baby than he did before. Like is like now he's kind of a little bit married up to the idea. He does talk to Trudy about having to figure out to tell the father-in-law about Clear Cell, but we'll get to that at some point. They bring in the younger secretaries. They want to do a focus group for the Pond's Cream thing, try to figure out what works for it. Lane asked Pete if he talked to his father-in-law. He said he didn't. He's going to try to do it that night. He does tell him about the baby he's got coming in. They share congratulations. Yeah, the focus group does get to them talking about their personal relationships, kind of more of like kind of why they use makeup and stuff. And yeah, Allison throughout the whole time, Don's assistant, is like very much in her feelings that whole time. And she starts kind of reminiscing about kind of all her interactions with Don, and she does eventually leave the room very upset. Peggy then goes to console her, and Allison does tell her about kind of what happened with her and Don, and tries to bond with Peggy because yeah, you must have gone through the same thing. And Peggy's like, "Fuck, are you talking about? I never slept with Don." And then Allison is like, yeah, well, okay, fine. If you're not gonna be honest about it, it's whatever. Like you don't gotta tell me. He's like, hey, you don't gotta put your Peggy's like, you don't gotta put your problems on me, okay?
I was
And
a
so
virgin 2 episodes ago.
yeah, Peggy just kind of makes the situation worse. They kind of leave Allison to Stu and Don's office. Harry and Pete and Kenny do meet up for lunch. Pete and Kenny do get into it a little bit about things that Pete might have said behind his back, which very curious because it basically started with Pete going like, "I don't remember saying that, but I probably said that." I don't think I said that too. I definitely didn't say that. Like all of us have. Uh,
Mhm.
then yeah, they make up pretty quickly. Kenny starts talking about his complaints in the business. Well, Pete does tell him his news about the baby as well. Don then goes back to check on Allison. She tells him, "Hey, I think I should just look for another job. We made a mistake doing what we did, and I can't work for you anymore." And then Don is like, "Well, like, you sure you just can't stay along?" He's like, "Nah, I don't think so." He's like, "All right, well, you gotta go. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write? I'll let you write your own letter of recommendation for you for the next job, and I'll sign it." She's like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" "Yeah, just type it up. I'll sign it. You just write whatever you want." And yeah, that definitely didn't make Allison super happy. She picked up the nearest thing around her, threw it at his head, and tells him, "Yeah, Don, you're not a very good person," and storms out of the office. Yeah, because I guess Don couldn't think of, I guess, I don't know, like 500 words, something to say good about his secretary of
He
several
thought he
years
was
of
doing
employment.
the right thing for her. It's like you write the most glowing recommendation. I'll just sign it. It's like no. And I love the like where Joan was like, "Do you want me to go after her?" It's like, "Do you will you let her cool off after a couple days and come back?" It's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Really?" Like, no.
No, you don't understand that bridge is burned. Like we can't go back to that. Uh, yeah, then Peggy does meet up with that woman in the elevator again. Joyce, she invites her to a party. Uh, Pete then goes back, meets up with his in-laws to celebrate the pregnancy. He does tell his father-in-law about the conflict, but he does twist the conversation around to, "Hey, can do clear sale, but you know what? I've done good by you. Why don't you, give me the whole Vicks chemical account? How about that?" And he's like, I want your no." He doesn't even say that. He's like, "Just give me everything. I think I deserve it." And that sound good? All right, good. And then yeah, definitely father-in-law didn't like that. Calls him a son of a bitch, and Pete is like gives the old shoulder shrug, and then continues on pouring the drink. Yeah, Pete is just
I
going
mean,
full
but
admin at that point.
blackmailing your father-in-law, good guy behavior, bad guy behavior. It's 50-50.
What do you think,
No,
Mark?
I don't know if he's saying he's blackmailing him. I don't know. He's
Oh,
saying, what was he blackmailing him with? He's like, come on, just give me the business. Let's see that.
I
Uh,
don't know what Pete has on you, but like you're crazy.
oh, hey, anyway, go to the Peggy goes to that party. Uh, and what do you know? That Joyce, probably a lesbian, tries to make out with Peggy. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not about that." She meets a couple other people. One of them named Abe, who after the party is raided, has a bit of like a moment in the closet with Abe. But before they end up kissing, Joyce comes in and takes him out of there, and they end up running off together. Don does get a new secretary of the name Ida Blankenship, which, yeah, the thought of putting this Ida Blankenship on his deck says, let's find the person that Don in no way will sleep with. It's like
Challenge accepted.
not even kind of a possibility. Like old woman, I'll just say, maybe the oldest woman you've ever seen, and that is Don's new secretary. Uh, does Pete does tell everybody about the Vicks chemical thing. Everybody, partners are very happy about that. Peggy then learns about Pete's pregnancy. She has a bit of emotions about that. She goes to congratulate Pete about that, and Pete, oh yeah, he's like, oh, that's right, you did have my bastard child, and you got an abortion a while ago. Completely forgot about that. Honestly, that felt like more of the bad guy thing than the other thing.
That's on me. I forgot. My bad.
Don does have a meeting with Faye later, and yeah, he's I think a little bit steamed about what happened with the focus group because I think he's like, hey, you gave my secretary like thoughts in her head, and she ended up quitting. Things were going great before you started talking about her future and such. So maybe try not to do that anymore. And then, yeah, of course, the episode ends as Pete and Peggy then share kind of the emotional look as they're leaving for the workday as a acknowledgement of what happened before. Yeah, and that's the end of The Rejected. Yeah, that's it. There we go.
We covered. There's a couple little moments I loved in this episode. You get to see like a feel for the office layout when Don's secretary gets in that fight with him, and you see Peggy's head is just like poking over his wall in the background because she stands on her table there, you can kind of peek over the walls in this new office, and then she ducks down as he turns around. And then my favorite part of this whole episode was like the elderly couple towards the end, his neighbors, where the guy's just standing in the doorway. She's walking down the hallways. Did you get the pears? Did you get the pears?
I'll explain on it when
we'll
get
discuss it inside.
What's with the pears? I do like that John was like, hey, if we can get her back, would you want her? If that's what she wants, really? No.
No.
I don't know if you saw what happened here.
He should have aimed. She should have aimed for his head. Like that's all I'm saying. But yeah, father-in-law basically. Hey, by the way, you're pregnant. Surprise! Oh, wait, your wife should tell you that. Sorry, I did it. Oops.
She was waiting for their anniversary.
Yeah, like that matters. Why we have to wait that long?
I mean, the father-in-law got his comeuppance, so when Pete asked for the whole pie, give me everything.
That's true.
Give me all the eggs in the bacon.
Well, let me be real clear with you. Father-in-law could do a whole lot worse to Pete, and I'd still be on the father-in-law side. So just what that
the father-in-law, you mean the guy who bought the apartment that they're living in?
Yeah, exactly. You need a bigger place,
and took his business to Pete in the first place when he needed a get in with the people.
Well, not to defend Pete, but Pete didn't want that. He didn't want the money. Like they made him take the money. All right.
You guys ready to go to New Jersey?
Yeah.
Talk about the mob.
Let's talk about some sanitation workers.
For all debts, public and private, opens up where Tony is getting the newspaper outside. He goes home. AJ is not doing any better in school. He went to pay tax, so he's not going to Jigsaw's academy, but he's going to a different private school and is not gravitating very well to school and paying attention. Christopher has a new role inside the family. He's the driver, and let me tell you, he is pleased with this role. He is so excited about being the driver, but he's really pissed about the Jackie Jr. situation and all the things that follow like that. So Tony has to keep in a close thing. Diana, I think her name is Diana.
FBI lady?
Undercover FBI agent.
Yeah, it's real FBI lady.
Yeah. FBI lady, she is still working undercover, going through that. We get fucking Groucho Marx, known as Junior, to show up, and he's hitting on the ladies. Come here, lady, I want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. Buddy, I don't know what you look like in 1963, but let me tell you looked a lot better than you look right now. You ain't getting no action. But Tony, he wants to buy something or whatever. He needs money. He's running low on money, and Tony's like, yeah, join the fucking club. We ain't got no money either. We're broke. because of some of the shit that's went on with his situation. So he's not pulling in any money, but he wants Bakla to become made man, which Tony does agree to. Carmela's having panic attacks over financials. By the way, this episode, financials. That's basically the whole crux of this. If there was a theme, it's financials. Carmela sees somebody, I don't know who, maybe Big Pussy's wife. I don't really know. Somebody's handing out samples, and that makes her panic because she doesn't have. What about us? What about if Tony goes away? Like, whatever. I'm not going to be handing out shit in the deli. Adriana and FBI lady are at the house, and Christopher walks in with a bunch of bags, basically ignores the fuck out of her, doesn't give a shit about her being there at all. But once like bitching and whining about Tony in front of her, she ends up leaving. And Christopher's doing heroin between the feet, which is still one of the most disgusting things I've seen on TV in a while. Like, what the fuck? But enjoys being high. Carmela comes over to Tony and basically talks about like the money and what do we do, and I want to be inviting real estate. And she's like, well, we ain't got nothing right now. We don't have any other money. We don't have nothing. Like,
No.
it's hard to come up with the cash right now. But like, what do we do? Don't worry, you'll be taken. Swiss bank account, you'll be fine. You're covered. Like, how do we get in the Cayman Islands with you're not around? Like, don't worry, you'll be covered.
Paulie's gonna take care of us.
Yeah, right. Richie's still not allowed in the Bada Bing after his action, so basically they all have to meet the main members of the family, and Tony basically rips apart them. They're like, "Hey, we need fucking money. You start knocking some heads. We're losing money. Go get it. Blah blah blah." Richie and everybody comes over for family dinner, and FBI lady enters the home with Tony. So now she's been into it, and one of the most uncomfortable ever. Fucking Janice and Ralphie start working into the thing. Tony notices, he like looks at his watch and she's like, they've been gone a real fucking long time. That's disgusting. He has no business. Tony meets with the FBI or the cop guy. Basically talks about an investment in like a warehouse and like what's like the new things that he can do. And then he meets back with Junior, but he keeps that to himself. Junior tries to get back with the lady. The lady tells him he's leaving. Like they're not going to be together. Tony's hiding cash outside into like the feed, like a little early for ducks. Carmela meets him out there once they panic. Oh god, I had his name. The other guy of the New York family.
Johnny Sacks.
Johnny
Sacks. Johnny Sacks and Walnuts are communicating throughout jail because of in jail because they kind of set that ball in motion before last season when Tony's going against him. I don't know if this is the point where he makes the joke.
No.
No, I think that's the next one.
It's the next
it's in the very next. No, I think it's in the scene, isn't it? No, okay. He meets with the other side of. He meets with more members of the family, and he brings Christopher along on this one, kind of let him back into the like realization. Christopher's banging hookers. Obviously, he's being the driver for Tony and basically telling Tony he doesn't like to be the driver, but then he drives him to a Hooters, great restaurant. Basically tells him that the guy that killed his father is in there. He's an informant, or he's a good guy for us, for the cops, but now that he's gone, like, I want you to take him out. Did that happen? Did not. The guy kind of denies it, but he ends up getting to his house, handcuffing him to the railing. Of course, Christopher does everything super well. Where Christopher guy breaks off and starts to run, and he ends up shooting him inside the house while they play the video.
I love how he shot him in the back and then tried to put his gun in the hand, like make it look like a suicide.
Yeah,
one of them was a headshot. One of them was a headshot, so maybe he just missed once. Got the right shot.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I didn't get a lot from the Jennifer therapy. They didn't have a lot of therapy sessions. They had one at the end, but I can't really remember what I didn't write down because it must have not been much of note for me.
no, I didn't write
Uh,
anything for it either.
that's kind of the main crux of the argument is money. Money, money, money.
And they did reveal that the FBI had a plant in the doctor's office, which was maybe the nurse.
As
Yeah,
everybody's guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Makes
makes sense. And that's the episode. What do you guys think?
They got off to kind of a slow start. Couple of good things. I thought the Christopher policeman that may or may not have killed his dad was interesting. Janice and Ralphie is just.
Oh, it gets worse. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed by Ralphie because, on some sense, in the sense, whatever the worst decision possible that Ralphie can do, he just does it. Like,
He
what's
one-ups it
the
every season.
like? He's on. You know what? He's a quote from Joey Pants' same character from Bad Boys 2. He's like, "How can we fuck up the captain's day-to-day?" Like, and that's just what he does. He's like, "Hey, what's be the worst possible thing for me? I don't know. Let me just start banging Tony's sister." Like, that just sounds like a great idea. Like, even though, like, who the fuck likes Janice? I guess he is risen guy is gone. I guess we're not gonna see him anymore.
And
Bummer.
the last time she hooked up with a gangster, he may or may not have gone into witness protection or died.
That's I also find it funny. Just Tony's just like stashing money all throughout his house. You could laugh at that. Like, he tells Carmelo, "Oh, there's no money in this house. You can look around here. He's got money like in the floor and the duck feed. Like, he's got money everywhere. Like, he's getting set for some
I don't
recession."
keep money here anymore after what happened. Okay, it's that. All right. Episode 2, no show. Hey, Meadow is rebelling. That's the theory of this one. Again, I think they keep having to show us FBI lady with her other life to show that she's not one of the same. We get it. She has a kid. We get it. She's like undercover. I don't know why we have to do breakaways to show, hey, by the way, remember, he's an FBI agent. She's not real. Like, we get it. Meadows talking about like hanging around the pool, about getting a job, but Carmelo's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get a job. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, don't you have an interview? Carmelo and Furio have this like weird eye. Carmelo seems to like Furio. I don't know. The part that I talked about earlier happens. Ralphie basically makes a fat joke about Joe. You just said it.
Johnny Sacks.
Johnny Sacks. They all laugh. It hits with, and then Tony ends up leaving, I think, and Silvio and the group like talk about like what's like. There's cracks forming in the mafia currently right now. Like Silvio's like acting out. You'll find it on newer episodes. Christopher's acting out and more. Patsy's acting out. Like Walnuts is acting out. Like they're all like not showing the best loyalty at this point in time. FBI, I think her name's Diana, but her and Adriana are at the bar and they're talking about cocaine. They're doing the coke and like basically talks about her like she's like, you can tell me, you can talk about stuff. Okay, I'll tell you. I had an abortion, and I don't think I'm going to have gay. Not the story she needed to hear. She really wanted to hear about Tony Soprano and all that stuff, but they end up having this like heart to heart thing while Christopher comes in. Christopher thinks like she likes. Christopher thinks that is in the girls, not in the guys. So like that's why he's feeling like it's getting a little weird. Tony comes over while Ralphie is over at Janice's. Ralphie hides, but Tony finds his shoes like there. Thinks it's like, oh, disgusted by it. Walnuts gets told the joke that Ralphie made at dinner, and he's just a little newsflash. He's not happy about it, and he's still mad at Ralphie and overall the situation. We had a no-show at the job site where Christopher is like fiber wiring or whatever, a $500,000 like job or something like that. Which Patsy sits there, and Christopher sits there, and he's like, they give each other a look. And the look will come back into play in a little bit. Jennifer and Tony sit down and have a conversation about Meadow not wanting to get a job. First, she was going to be a hostess, and she didn't be a hostess. Now she wants to do this. Then she wants to go to Europe. The fuck. So not going well for Tony and the family. Like, don't you think she's like holding it back for like the holding it for Jackie, like she's sad about it still, and blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, but get the fuck over it. Like at some point, you need to move on. Meadow and Carmela are like still having it out about like, aren't you getting up? Aren't you going to job? Not working well. Clearly, there's some stuff not going well. We see the worst game of basketball ever played between Ralphie and that guy. I don't know why we had to spend time with that, but we spent it. Carmela is sitting there. They're talking about the hold on. Carmela and Tony are talking more about Meadow and like what do we need to do, blah blah. She's an adult, so they have to tread lightly on her because she can go if she wants to go. Christopher keeps getting high on the heroin, and Adrian just kind of like sits through it and is dealing with it. They end up ripping off Patsy end up ripping off the cabling or whatever, and Christopher goes, "You gave me a look. You gave me the look." Which things like, what fucking look are you talking about? Like, no. Which Tony was pissed about earlier. I missed that part of the episode where Tony is like, you don't draw that much fucking attention to us, you fucking idiot. Like, a $500,000, people don't just, oh, what happened to that? They start looking. Like, you can't just get away with it. So he kind of passed it on him. It didn't end up working. Meadow, Tony, and Carmela decided that they should send her to counseling, like, let her see a therapist, talk about it. Dude, talk about the most like worst one to send it to for a high schooler or like richly in college, because she's like, dude, you your family's in mob activity. You can go to you should be able to go to Europe. I have something in Spain. Like, I'm teaching Ray. So they tried to get her to talk out of it. Didn't talk out of it. Christopher, FBI girl, and Adriana end up like sitting in the back room. They end up like making out. He ends up grabbing her thigh. There's looks. Wine gets get the fuck out of here. Christopher makes a move on the FBI girl. Christopher basically says that she grabbed his hand like he wanted her, blah blah blah. I shouldn't be blamed for it. Adriana throws the drink on him. They're all, you're disgusting. You're despicable. Like, tries to pass it. Silvio steps out of line by telling Patsy that he's got the green light to go take the thing. And he's like, well, that's against what Tony said. He's like, I cover it. No problem. Like, just go do it. Like, what the fuck? No, that's a bad idea. Janice comes over to Tony basically to talk, basically tells him how disgusting the whole situation is. Adriana is taking no longer of the FBI's calls and refusing to have any calls. FBI is like, should we just bring her in at this point? Like, fuck it. Like, if she don't want to talk to you, let's just end up. Christopher and Patsy get into it at the thing, and then Patsy beats the shit out of like a civilian while Adriana looks on. Like, it's just awkward. Carmela comes in to talk to Meadow about the thing, and she's like, I talked to my therapist, and she thinks I should go to Europe and blah, blah, blah. And I'm tired of telling everybody you're this, and oh, you're the moral compass in all this situation. And Tony, I think, gives one of the best acting performances ever. Say what you need to say. You keep talking with these innuendos. Say what you need to say. What do you think is happening? Go ahead. Like, fucking talk. I'm tired of telling people in a relationship, don't switch the subject. What do you think? Like, tell me what you, because you're talking like that, and she ends up crying. FBI ends up picking up Adriana and her dog. They find out now that the sting is like made with, and basically tells her if she doesn't, she's going down for the cocaine. She has to spill on the people. Christopher and her will be able to get the pass. He pukes all over the table and in his face. I would have lost it. Silvio and her have a whole meeting about it, basically saying, "Hey, like you're telling people this, like this will happen. Oh, well, you see, like that's my bad. It won't happen again." Tony kind of has to reassert his dominance. Meadow signs up for school at Columbia. She's not going to it, but she's doing society, blah blah blah, hippy dippy. Basically, a pre-law kind of exposition where she wants to go. That's the episode of No Show. Oh,
It definitely picked it up a little bit more from the first episode, but
right.
all the Meadow stuff just like drags it to a halt every time she comes on the screen this episode. Let's see here. Yeah, and I thought they got through the FBI stuff pretty quick. I thought that was going to last longer.
Yeah, I think it needed to last longer. It seems like a rush to the end pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. And it's
But
the
again,
same
I don't
thing
know
with
where it goes.
Silvio too, because I feel like Silvio is just like crazy out of control, and I don't feel like was there like a time? There wasn't really much of a time jump in between the seasons, so yeah. But
No.
oh,
It seems like we're trading characters pretty quickly. Like their motives are changing very fast. With no Silvio hasn't. We haven't seen any reason why Silvio would change. We see why Walnuts would change. That makes more sense. He's been pushed out. Tony went against him. He feels like the fake phone calls, stuff like that. But even like Patsy and stuff, like Patsy was pretty tight with Tony, and now he's like listening to Silvio make the call, which is weird.
Well, like, killed his brother a while ago. Patsy still remember that.
That's true.
Yeah.
But no, this episode's fantastic. I there's so much. It's like I didn't mind it. I like listen, because of where we get to with the Meadow stuff, and she basically she does like her best trying to ask like Tony, yeah, did you kill Jackie Jr. at some point? And he kind of like just does like his best like work around there. Like that is great. All the like back and forth of stealing stuff on the job, and like Christopher's like, what, I didn't tell you to steal stuff. Like, nah, you gave me a look. Like, oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we get to listen. I usually have no idea who my bad guy of the week is going to be for any of these shows. I thought this week, pretty clear who it should be. Pretty clear. Christopher, though, making his presence known in this fight. Just the greatest gaslighting I think we'll ever see from anybody in any show. Like Adriana catches him stone right there, and then he throws down like just the like whenever she says like, yeah, you said she had a nice ass. Like, I was trying to say something positive. She's friend. Just, maybe the best line in the show. Like, it's incredible. I never gets old. Love it. And I goddamn love the scene at the very beginning of the joke. I love that scene so much, especially on rewatch. Yeah, it's gonna, we'll talk about it more as we go along with the season, but god damn it, do I love seeing it the first time. Just fantastic.
Okay, fair enough. Well, speaking of Christopher, episode 3, Christopher. I hate this episode for the most part. I'll be honest with you. It's very like politically kind of driven, like overall Columbus Day. The Italians love Columbus Day. Native Americans don't love Columbus Day, so the Italians versus the Native Americans. Fun times had by all. That's mainly the whole conversation. And Sylvia's like, I'll tell you right now, they fucking fuck this. I'll fuck them up, like blah blah blah. So he's angry. Carmela and them are all at the gym talking about like, being with us and joining us and like creating family unity about going to this like like meeting or whatever assembly about basically women and Italian like heritage, blah blah blah. Then I'm telling you, I don't know how long this scene lasts. Probably only 30 seconds. It's the most uncomfortable I've ever been. Is Ralphie just getting owned by Janice and like, oh, you're a good little slut and all that stuff. Awkward, uncomfortable,
Janice has the craziest sex scenes.
horrible,
Between this one and
horrible.
Richie, her making Richie put the gun to her head and stuff. Oh.
So Sax and Ralphie and them are all sitting around the table, but he doesn't really say anything about it. But he definitely doesn't like interact with Ralphie that much because he knows what Ralphie said, even though Ralphie doesn't know what he personally said. Furio and Carmela have a talk about the house and like conversation. Are you a citizen? Ah, you don't need to be a citizen. No problem. Like I want to stay, but I want to live in America. They end up going. They basically have this entire like town hall like meeting about like women in crime and the Italians and like all this stuff, which doesn't set well with all the mob life, basically. Which they let the pastor know basically after, and how dare you after this like conversation like with all this stuff. There's a meeting of the minds in the middle of the street of on Columbus Day, the Native Americans versus the Italians there. Some scrum up, some people get hurt basically because of said actions. Bakla is in traffic and gets trying to get a phone call. He says he's like on the stuck in traffic, just figuring out there's an accident ahead. Turns out that accident is his wife dead. So we have another death. Add that to the kill count. He ends up being really affected by that pretty bad, where they all try to like comfort him in that situation. Silvio and Tony basically have a meeting of the minds, I would say, is basically because of like Tony's trying to reclaim power over his family. It's not going the best, and Silvio seems to be one of the people acting out of line. Ralphie like meets with one of the Native American like main people and tells him like he was Italian. Like he said something like tries like
Your poster boy.
yeah, he's a poster boy. Like I didn't say it's Italian, and I'm like just like breaks the thing, which doesn't go well. Doesn't just piss him off. We have the funeral. Bakla broken down basically, and I also love that they all have like a ziti night. They all have to drop off ziti and pasta for Bakla for the overall. Ralphie is ending it with his wife. He doesn't want to be with her anymore. He wants to be owned by Janice, basically. Yay! Ralphie!
He's like, you won't stop whining about your son that I killed.
Which is crazy.
It's like that versus I feel like I was the one that got raped. It's like it's neck and neck.
Yeah, it's really rough. And then and he says he's got a clear one. So, a racehorse. There's something with a racehorse. I don't really remember what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janice misses bringing over the ZD because Ralphie shows up overall. Like I was supposed to bring ZD. Like come over. Like and. He's like, I can stay with you now. Like, I told her I don't want to be with her. I want to be with you. Like, everything. And Janice, body language is everything. Not that pleased. I think David Smith, which is one of the guy's character, which is like half Native American, which again, David Smith, like, looks like they're all like trying to find a peace deal for this like thing so it stops boiling over. Janice is like wanting to find a way to get rid of Ralphie because he doesn't want that. Like it was fun, it's fun time, but like overall spending time not the fun. Take your shoes off in my house. he refuses to take off his shoes. She throws him down the stairs. She hurts his back, and like she goes hiding in the thing, and they end up like leaving that alone. It ends with and they're just like, I don't know, I don't remember the overall like what ends up being said, but that is basically the crux of the episode. For calling it Christopher, not a ton of Christopher.
Not
So
a bad
weird. Not a bad thing. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I think this might have been my favorite of the three. It's definitely getting off to a slow start this season, but it's setting up a lot of pieces for stuff to happen and dominoes to start falling.
Listen, I was very much looking forward to this episode, mainly because there's just a lot of just great comedy bits throughout about Christopher Columbus and whether or not he's a slaver or he's like an Italian hero, and pretty much everybody in the mob like he's an Italian hero, except for except for Furio. He's like, I wasn't a fan of Christopher Columbus. Like he was from the north, and the north's always been down. It's like just a lot of great. I also love especially how there's all this tension that the mob is going to start stuff with the Native Americans at this parade, and turns out the fight is not with the mob people. It's just regular Italians, and like Silvio would have been there, he just forgot about it, even though he was angry about it the whole time. But yeah, no, great. And then the best thing too, Janice told by her psychiatrist, hey, you got to find a way to break it off with Ralphie, do well. And then she's like, just gets scared. It's like, I told you not to wipe your feet off my thing. Get the fuck here.
Wasn't it pretty much like Tony's trying to find people, who's trying to find his mother to sleep with, and she's trying to find like her father.
Great. Glad we got to this Christopher Columbus episode. A lot of fun stuff here.
You muted.
Yeah.
Bad guy of the week, Mark.
Oh yeah, it is. Listen, we definitely have some contenders here from Sopranos. Like Ralphie made an appearance here. What's his face? Christopher, definitely good one. With that, but it has to be Don. It's nobody but Don. Emotionally manipulate his secretary, then kind of trying to act like it didn't happen, and then like I think what's worse is he thinks he's being a good guy about it. He's still piece of shit, pal. Like it just doesn't get any worse for Don.
But he took Lane out for a night on the town.
That was fun, but this woman, no.
Yeah,
I've been locked up. It's Don.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
You
Not
can't
a great
the
Don
secretary, and then in the back end be like, "Thanks for the keys. Here's $100." But we had said that part I don't remember.
Well, I got your
that
card.
phone out there is ringing. Someone's got to answer it.
Yeah. Okay. That's the season. We'll be back next week for what's
next week is 3 Mad Men, 3 Shield, 4 Sopranos. Cody's got to do the work next week.
I got to carry the show, so that's all right. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Well, me and Matt are going to bed. Clearly, we're about to die. So, bye-bye.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up, Rick.
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't want to do your dirty work no more.